Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new, welcome. My name is Chris. Today is all about things luxurious. Perfumes I have picked for this video are some of the most luxurious perfumes in my collection. Not necessarily the most expensive, but definitely make me feel luxurious when I wear them, whether I'm going to work, on a nice date, or a special event. And today's video I'm also excited about because I will be talking about another one of my loves, jewelry. Two things that I absolutely love and usually will not leave the house without them. Now I chose these fragrances not necessarily by price, but how they make me feel. They make me feel luxurious, whether I'm in, more casually dressed or I'm going to a special event. Now I do want to say this part of the video has been kindly sponsored by Ideal. I tell you, I've been doing YouTube for 4 years and I've only accepted 3 collaborations. One of them was with the brand Ideal. And I've said it before, I'm very, very picky with the companies that I choose to collaborate with. And my 2 criteria are, number 1, I have to believe in the product myself, and number 2, I would purchase the products myself. And I, in fact, since my last collaboration with Ideal, I have purchased pieces that you will be seeing throughout this video. As I get older, I am more interested in spending money on things of quality that are going to last than on a bunch of stuff that might not be of the best quality and maybe won't be around in 2 to 5 years. So why do I love Ideal so much? Why do I believe in the brand? Well, number 1, they are of incredible quality. Their gemstones, their diamonds are lab created, and a lab created diamond is the exact same as a diamond that was dug out of the ground 100 years ago, except a lab generated diamond, in my opinion, is much more ethical. And not only are these lab created, but they are created in Antwerp, which is the diamond capital of the world. What makes these pieces consumer friendly, luxury consumer friendly, is that they're modular. You can start small like I did and add on. And many of the pieces are interchangeable, and it's really, really fun for me. That's kind of how I jazz up my outfits during the week. I might have to wear some work appropriate clothing, but I will jazz things up with my jewelry, and it really takes things up a notch. In addition to, since up a notch was something that's a little bit more fancy. So the pendant that I'm wearing right now is the initial pendant, and this I did not take off my body for 3 to 4 months. It's been a while since I did my last collaboration. This is really me, and it goes with every single outfit. So what I have in my ears, I have the diamond solitaire that I never take out of my ear. I sleep in these things. And I have the lovely little dangle accessory. This is called the Iris piece. I've had this in my ear, or on my ears, for 3 weeks. I sleep in these, I go to the gym in these, I exercise in these. These are just so delicate and pretty at the same time, and I don't even feel them in my ears. And they really just, even if I'm wearing a t-shirt, they completely elevate my look. So I will be changing things up. I will be changing my earrings as we go along in the video to kind of match them with the perfumes. And with that, I'm just going to get started with 3 of my most luxurious everyday fragrances. In other words, fragrances that I wear when maybe I'm not going anywhere special, maybe I'm just going on errands, maybe I'm going to meet up with somebody, or I'm going to work, and I really want to feel luxurious. This is not just an everyday perfume. One of them has become Yin Transformation by the Harmonist. This was on my wish list for about a year. And this is the Parfum. There's the Parfum and there's an Eau de Parfum. They're very, very similar. I just happen to prefer the Parfum better. And if you've been following me, you know I love clean and fresh, sometimes soapy fragrances. That is my favorite category. I love woody fragrances. I love vanillas. But at the end of the day, if you were to take all my perfumes away, the one segment that I would ask you to keep are my clean and fresh. I'm a clean and fresh girl through and through, and you can wear them any time of the year. But Yin Transformation is a beautiful, musky pink floral. It's just an elevated, luxurious, musky pink floral. It starts off like a musky pink rose with a little bit of powder and a little bit of soapiness, and then as it dries down into more of a woody rose, and then there's something almondy in here. It's still a little bit soapy. It's almost as if you had woody notes and a little bit of rose and almond, like a creamy almond soap in the dry down. This is so lovely, so clean. It's soapy but elegant at the same time, and I feel so luxurious when I wear this. So this is definitely a fragrance that I have been wearing more the past couple weeks. Another one is a relatively new pickup for me. Oud Nude. This was in my angelic fragrances, and even though I don't love all ouds, and I would never put the note of oud and associate it with the term angelic, there's something very angelic about this scent. It is a luxurious raspberry, almond, oud fragrance that is just so delectable. This is irresistible, and I feel angelic and luxurious and so put together in this perfume. It is a fragrance where the oud comes through, but the oud is so light, it's so fluffy, it's so airy. The raspberry note, it feels like raspberry angel dust in here. And again, there's something almondy in here, whether that's heliotrope or almond, I don't know. The oud is present, but it never overtakes the fragrance. I have yet to wear it to work. Not that I won't, but I just haven't yet. It just seems a little bit too glamorous and luxurious to wear it, but it's so soft and elegant and light and fluffy. I think my coworkers, the ones who enjoy fragrance, would really enjoy it. So I just added in a second pair of studs. I actually purchased these myself. These are the petite gold studs, and I do like to wear something in my second piercing. I either like to wear it on more of a casual day, the little stud, or another piece I will show you in a moment. But just when I thought I had every Orange Blossom Neroli fragrance I could ever want, I'm a huge Orange Blossom Neroli fan, I pick up this beautiful scent called Néroli Hasbaya by Atelier Metairie. Let me tell you, this fragrance is one of the most luxurious Orange Blossom Neroli fragrances that happens to be a gourmand or a gourmand leaning. And just when I thought I was kind of over pistachio, this one has changed my mind. Néroli Hasbaya smells like a pistachio angel food cake that you picked up from a luxury French patisserie, and then you covered it in orange blossom and neroli petals. And that's, I don't know what else is in here, but that's all I get. Maybe there's a little bit of amber in the base. It's creamy, it's smooth, it's clean without being soapy. And one day I wore this, and my notoriously picky husband, he does like florals, said, "Oh my gosh, you smell really pretty." He said I smelled very sophisticated. So a sophisticated Orange Blossom Neroli gourmand. If you are sensitive to sweet notes, if you are sensitive to sweet fragrances, you might think this leans more gourmand, whereas if you are strictly a gourmand lover, you might think this leans heavy into the Orange Blossom Neroli range. Fortunately for me, I love both categories, so this is an absolute stunner, a big win for me. It does wear on the quieter side, quiet scent bubble. When I've worn this to work a couple times, I did pop it in my bag and respray, just because this to me is like such a happy fragrance and I want to smell it. And I call her my little sister at work. We kind of share an office with a sliding door. Her name is Colleen. She and I love Orange Blossom. She said, "You just smell like sunshine. You smell like happy sunshine." And so Néroli Hasbaya is a beautiful addition to my collection, and it is on more of the luxurious side just because it wears a little bit more, I guess, creamy and gourmand, but beautiful all the same. And if you love Neroli and Orange Blossom like me, I'm telling you, and you love like a nice light gourmand element, this one is a terrific one to get your nose on. So for the next part of the video, I am moving into some of my most luxurious vanilla fragrances. And when I did this collaboration maybe 5 months ago, I didn't realize how many vanilla fragrances I had in my quiet luxury video at that time. And some of you pointed that out. So I tried not to have too many. I have narrowed it down to 4, and one of these vanillas is actually my most luxurious fragrance in all of my collection. Now, I am pairing these beautiful vanilla fragrances with some other pieces. This piece right here is a piece that I purchased myself. As I said in the beginning, Ideal is a company that I believe in and love their products so much. I purchased several pieces myself. So this is called, or this little pendant is called the Layla, and it is paired with the diamond stud that came with my initial pendant that I showed earlier. You can mix and match and add. And then I've added on to my second piercing, I've added on this jacket. It's called the Live. This look right here is a look that I wore all this week. It just made me feel, even when I was dressed casually, there was a day that I was running late. I have very elderly dogs, so they take a long time to get ready. I spend a lot of time with them in the morning to make sure they're all situated before I go to work. And I had no time to get ready. I was dressed very, very casually. I pulled my hair back in a ponytail, but I kind of did. I spent the extra 5 minutes to get a little bit jazzed up with my jewelry, and I felt put together all day just for that. So again, you can mix and match and add on. I really do like this look. It just seems professional, but a little bit edgy at the same time. So vanillas, where to start? I'm going to start with a fragrance from Celine. I think Celine fragrances are very, very luxurious. Their vanillas have a very similar DNA running throughout. And if you like really strong fragrances that are going to turn heads because they're so loud, Celine fragrances may not be for you. And that might be a little bit hard for people because they are expensive and the price is just going up. The one I've been wearing twice this week, it's called Dans Paris. It is a beautiful, it has that Celine vanillic DNA, but it has some florals. It is a floral vanilla. It's a sweet floral vanilla. And the vanilla in all of the Celine fragrances, I think, is very sweet. And it's paired with a flower. It's either the linden blossom or the laurel blossom. To me, what I get something that smells somewhere in between a jasmine and a mimosa. So I get a jasmine mimosa light floral. I get this beautiful, sweet, bordering on gourmand vanilla, and I get some slight spices in the background. I do not get the spices in the air. I don't get them in the sillage, but when I spray and I put my nose right up where I spray, which I do throughout the day if I'm wearing something I really love, I do get the spices then, and I want to say it's coriander. It's just a dry, earthy spice, but this just, for me, seems like a great spring vanilla because it's a vanilla paired with some really pretty florals, and I just adore it. It's soft, it's sweet, it's vanillic, it's powdery, and has that vanillic powder musk that black tie has, but they're a little bit different. They go in different directions, but they do share a lot of similarities in their core. A new obsession for me, let me tell you, the brand Perfume Head sent me a discovery set last year. And I went through the discovery set and I thought I was going to love the one called, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name, Space Cowboy, Cowboy Junkie, something like that. I smelled this one and I was like, stop, I need to get a bottle of this. This is amazing. It is one of my favorite vanillas. This is a lifer for me, let me tell you. I just am totally obsessed with this perfume. It is called La La Love. And is supposed to, the point of view is walking around Los Angeles in the morning. I don't get that from this perfume. I've been to Los Angeles. Los Angeles doesn't smell like this. If it did, I would move to Los Angeles tomorrow and just walk around all day. This is a boozy, spicy vanilla. And the spice in here is saffron, and the saffron in here smells like a very delicate leather suede. So this to me smells like you are wearing the nicest suede jacket, brand new, and you combined it with an adult cream puff. In other words, someone put rum in the filling of a cream puff. So this is a suede jacket and a rum vanilla cream puff combined, and that's what I get. It's very unisex. Anybody could wear it. It's completely intoxicating, and let me tell you, I think I sprayed 3 or 4 times when I went out wearing this. I could smell it on me all day. Now, it wasn't, you can't smell it down the hall, but let me tell you, it just wafts around where you are. You could smell it in the room, and anytime someone came in my room or my office, they said, did you respray that perfume? It smells so good. So La La Love is a big love for me. They are on the pricey side. Again, this is a luxurious video with luxurious fragrances, but thankfully they do even offer smaller bottles. This bottle is a 30 ml, and I guarantee you, when I go through this bottle, which I will upsize it. It's worth every penny, in my opinion. And oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to mention that this La La Love by the brand Perfume Head, they are located in Los Angeles, and the Golden Globes, just a little bit of trivia, the Golden Globes basket, or, you know, swag bag, was apparently or reportedly worth $1 million. Can you believe it? And the only perfume brand they had in that bag was from Perfume Head. So I don't know which particular scents made it in the bag. Maybe they got the whole line. I don't know, but it's a very nice line, to put it mildly. Another one that has been on my wish list forever. I think this has been on my wish list for over a year, and I am patient and I can wait and get things that I want. If they're on the expensive side, I do have a perfume budget I try to stick to, so sometimes it might take me a little bit longer. That's fine. I'm willing to wait for things of quality. Is Sissa. Sissa I love. So this is the sister perfume to Commodity Milk, and they do share a lot of similarities, which makes sense because they share the same perfumer. Now, I prefer this take better. Commodity Milk to me is a lovely perfume, and ever since I got Sissa, I never picked up Milk ever again. Commodity is a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit stronger. I do pick up, whether they list ambroxan or not, like a sweet ambroxan, like a marshmallowy ambroxan, I pick it up. Sissa, it's a little bit more rounded. I don't pick up any aroma chemical. It has a beautiful note of sesame that I love. I love that milky, creamy tonka, sesame, vanilla. Again, in that big category that every, Bianco latte with a lot of differences. There's just something about this one that really speaks to me. I wore it to work. It wasn't everybody's favorite. And when they smelled it on my arm, like when you really get in there, they said it smelled smoky. And I think they're smelling the tonka, because tonka can smell like a lot of things. It can smell like almonds. It can smell very vanillic. It can smell sweet. It can smell powdery. And it can also smell like tobacco. And the tonka in here smells a little bit like tobacco. Nevertheless, I absolutely love it. These fragrances are expensive. I do take my time getting each one, but to me, they're well worth it. This one is another one that wears a little bit more demurely. I think Commodity Milk is a lot stronger, but again, this is my take. This is my preferred take on that DNA. And the last vanilla in the list, the most luxurious vanilla, one of the most luxurious fragrances in my collection, and definitely a fragrance that I paid the most for in all of my collection. And I blame you, Sharita M, for this one. I blame you, Sharita. Sharita talks about Vanille Planifolia Extrait all the time on her channel. I was down in Houston. I go down there all the time, but it was last September. I went to the Guerlain counter. I smelled Patchouli Paris, and I smelled this one. I took one of those scent cards home with me in my purse, and I could not stop smelling this. And I just couldn't get it out of my mind, so I waited months and months and months, and I ended up purchasing it. It is a beautiful, beautiful perfume. When I wear this, it does give me a similar wear to another one of my favorite vanillas that I've talked about a million, gajillion, babillion times, Vanille de Tahiti by Paris Monte Carlo. Those two, are very similar. When I've worn them side by side, I can pick up the differences. But Vanille Planifolia is so beautiful. It smells like the vanilla orchid. That particular type of orchid I actually smelled when I was in Bali years and years and years ago. The resort that we were staying at one day had them in a table in the middle of the lobby, and I smelled it and I thought, oh my gosh, these smell so amazing. But this is, to me, is a very floral vanilla. I get a lot of that vanilla orchid. It smells very, very similar to a stargazer lily. The way that this type of a vanilla orchid smells most similar to a stargazer lily. The lily is a little bit more soapy. I'm not talking about like an Easter lily. I'm talking about a stargazer lily. It smells very, very differently. That type of lily smells very similar to this type of orchid. So I get a lot of flowers. This is a floral, sweet vanilla. I do get a little bit of spices. I'm not sure what the notes are in here. I think they list, maybe there is myrrh or some sort of incense note. and some spices. It is a little bit spicy, but mainly what I get is the most pristine, gorgeous vanilla orchid that I've ever smelled, and it is quite beautiful. If you want to wear something similar that is much more affordable, Vanille de Tahiti is definitely one that would be an alternative. However, every time I talk about it, people in the comments say that they get an unpleasant note that I thankfully don't get. So rounding out the vanillas with my most luxurious vanilla in my collection. Seeing that most of us are moving into the warmer months, I'm thinking of tropical vacation, and I chose 3 of my most luxurious tropical scents to show, and I have paired them. I'm adding on pieces here. I have added on the Lucia or the Lucia jacket to my 3rd piercing. Let me tell you, this is my most complimented earrings. These are my most complimented earrings of all time. It doesn't matter where I am. I could be in the checkout of the grocery store. I could be at work. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get several people ask me about these earrings or the jacket. I can't tell you how many times I have been asked, where did you get those earrings? Where can I get them? They're very, very pretty, and they add a nice elegance to an outfit. And I think I forgot to mention in the opening, I will have everything, all of these pieces, the names linked down below. It's Friday night. It's been a long, long week. It's late. And I have a 10% discount code. It's not an affiliate code. I get 0 kickback. It's just there for you if you are interested in the pieces. It's a nice little discount for any of you who want to take advantage of it. Let's see. I'm going to start with a perfume that is a repurchase. It's one of the older fragrances, not this bottle, but this perfume is one of the older fragrances in my collection. It was definitely one of the most luxurious fragrances I ever purchased when me and Picky Pat were heading to Bali. I wanted to pick a perfume for that particular occasion, and I went to Neiman Marcus. I saved like all year to get a special perfume, and I smelled all of the fragrances they had, and I ended up going with one called Frangipane by Chantecaille. Back then, this was years ago, they were in a different packaging. They have new packaging, but it is still the same fragrance, and this is a beautiful, tropical, ambery, vanillic, tropical perfume. As the name states, it has frangipane in it, but it also has a lot of ylang-ylang, and I get something in the dry down that smells maybe a touch like lilac, and I think it's either lilac or water hyacinth, something like that, but a very beautiful tropical fragrance, and I love the scent memory that goes along with this. Every time I wear this, I think of Bali, and it was really funny when I got my 2nd bottle. I'd used the 1st bottle. It had been years and years since I had repurchased it. I got the bottle, sprayed it on a card, and I had Pat smell it, and he smelled it, and he said, I have great memories of this perfume. And he kissed the dabber. I said, Pat, why did you kiss that perfume dabber? He goes, because it makes me think of you. So he even remembers me by this perfume, and it's because I had spent so much money at the time on that fragrance. Not only was it my Balinese fragrance, but it was my fragrance for the next year until I used that fragrance up. But anyways, because it is an older fragrance, it might have been around for a while, maybe close to 20 years. Some of you may think it leans a little bit vintagey. I do not. I mean, it doesn't have any aroma chemicals. It doesn't have any of these modern chemicals or additives, but it's a lovely, lovely perfume. A sweet, tropical, floral vacation. In my opinion, let's see, the next one, you knew that a luxurious perfume video had to have a Roja perfume in it. And the one that makes me think of a tropical vacation, the most luxurious tropical floral fragrance from Roja is this one right here. It's Isola Sol. And it is so, this one surprised me how much I like it, because it's definitely a jasmine fragrance. It has jasmine in it, and the jasmine is definitely jasmining. It is channeling the jasmine. It almost goes a little bit, well, I'm going to say heady. I'm not going to say it becomes indolic, because I wouldn't like it. I don't tend to like indolic jasmine, but it's a heady, heady jasmine. There's probably other white, other white florals. Maybe it has ylang-ylang in here. I definitely get jasmine. It has salt or salt water. It's very tropical, a little bit of coconut, very light touch of coconut. It does not head into that sunscreen direction, but it's traveling in that direction without getting there. I love this perfume, and I sprayed it around Picky Pat. I knew he would like it because he loves jasmine. And when I wore it, he said, oh my gosh, you smell so pretty. So it's gonna put you in the ballpark of, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Oh, Tom Ford, Soleil Blanc, Beach Walk a little bit, and Alien Goddess, that realm. But this one is done, there's no harsh edges, smooth as silk, beautiful, with a very, very well done jasmine. And my most luxurious kind of tropical fruity perfume is this one right here, Dolce Melodia. It took me a long time to buy this. I actually bought this bottle from Scent Split because I love that they sell full bottles, and it was sold out everywhere, and I had a discount code. So it was a win-win. Dolce Melodia is the most luxurious fruity perfume in my collection, if not the most luxurious, certainly up at the top. It is definitely an orange, pear, citrusy, white floral, vanilla that is very, very strong. That saffron adds to the strength, but it also makes it very unisex. In my opinion, I think this would smell terrific on a man, a little bit spicy, a little bit warm with that saffron. And to me, it almost smells like you took an orange creamsicle and you added it to Side Effect by Initio Parfums. It's going to get you pretty darn close. And again, the lasting power on this is literally unbelievable. And if you have a hard time finding it, it used to be sold out. Maybe it's come back. Check Scent Split, that's where I bought mine. And for my last luxurious category, I need my most luxurious fragrances if I'm ever going to go to an amazing event. Let's say I get invited to the Golden Globes next year. I can't just go with any perfume. I need a perfume that is going to be a showstopper, and I'm going to pair my show-stopping fragrances with show-stopping jewelry. So for this last category, I've switched out my earrings, and I am now wearing these beautiful earrings. They're called the Joan. I'm going to call them the jacket, the Joan jacket. These are such beautiful earrings. When I wear these earrings, I feel like $1 million. I've added that little second petite stud for my second piercing. This is one of the many things I told you I love about this brand. The combinations are endless, whether you have one piercing, whether you have two piercings, whether you have multiple piercings, you can mix and match. I took the iris earring that was previously in my first piercing. I took that off of the solitaire and I placed it on. Now it's a pendant, and I added it to my initial necklace. See how pretty that looks? I just did it on the fly just now. So yeah, endless possibilities, endless combinations. True story about these Joan earrings. Pat and I went out for Valentine's Day. I was wearing a really, really cute, a pretty outfit. I had my hair pulled back, and I wanted a nice dangly earring to kind of set off the outfit, and I didn't have a really nice fancy dangly earring. The only earrings I had that would fit that category were from Charlie & Charlie. Bought them 15 years ago, and I hadn't worn them since. I wore them, and I just did not feel put together. I think it was that day or the next day, I got up the courage and I asked Pat if he wouldn't mind getting me a pair of these earrings for my birthday or Mother's Day that was coming up. So this was February, my birthday's in March. I showed him a picture of these Joan earrings. I said, these will last a lifetime. These I can use, anytime I want to get dressed up. Would you mind getting them for me? And he said yes. And wouldn't you know, not long after that, the company reached out to me and told me I could pick out a pair of earrings for this collaboration. And of course, it was a no-brainer. I was going to pick the Joan. I ended up getting them in time for Easter, and I wore these for Easter. We went out to, Easter Mass, and then we went to a nice brunch, and I just felt like really pretty. And Pat kept saying, those earrings are so pretty. They really are eye-catching. They catch the eye. They draw your attention. They're absolutely stunning showstopper earrings, and I've got some show-stopping perfumes. Listen, if I'm going to the Golden Globes, if I'm going to the Academy Awards, if I'm going somewhere really, really nice and fancy where I'm going to get dressed up, I'm not just me. I'm not going to be wearing just any old perfume. I want to wear a perfume where I'm not going to smell like anybody else. I want to wear a perfume that is a statement. I'm going to be wearing a statement maker. So I've got 3 of my most luxurious statement makers in front of me. The first one is San Ysidro Drive. So if I was invited, let's say, to a perfume opening or something along those lines, I'm going to pick this one because it is so, and this is a rose oud perfume, and I'm not always an oud lover. There is something so amazing and addictive and just so incredibly attractive about this perfume. Even though you can definitely smell the oud, it does not go skanky. It's very strong and on the clean side, but it is paired with rose and passion fruit. It's passion fruit, I think. So it's very tangy, and it also has saffron. This is similar to, so if you have Miller Harris Scherzo, they're very similar. This one has that passion fruit, so it has this deep, juicy tartness to go along with that rose oud and the saffron, whereas Scherzo were just a little scratchy on me, and it's sweeter. I want to say it has praline. I actually would wear this to the Academy Awards, something along those lines, because when you walk by, people are going to turn their heads and smell you. It smells terrific. I think I purchased mine on the Victoria Beckham website because they send you 2 little samples or decants, and her vanilla fragrance, I think it's called 411 Reverie, something like that, is on my wish list. It's beautiful. So another show-stopping, elegant, luxurious fragrance that I would wear for a really formal night out is another one by the Harmonist. This is called Hypnotizing Fire. This is a very, very unique fragrance. I don't have anything else that smells like this, and I have described it in the past. Every time I describe this as a sangria, but oh my gosh, this, even from the nozzle, this smells so addictive. This is such a delicious, beautiful perfume. So take the sangria, take a dark sangria, remove those fruits, replace the fruits with rose and pimento, a little bit of myrrh, a little bit of patchouli, and a little bit of amber. And that's the best I can do to describe this. This is one of my most complimented fragrances. Twice when I've worn this, someone has smelled me and said, one person said, "You smell like money," and another person said, "You smell very expensive." It's just a very, and both of those terms, that term, "you smell like money," is a little bit cringy to me, but I know what she was saying. It's a very luxurious, nice smelling fragrance, and it doesn't smell like, a drugstore perfume. When you smell this, it's just a beautiful, unique, well done fragrance. And the last the last most luxurious show-stopping fragrance I have, another one. So I would wear these 2 if I'm going to the Academy Awards somewhere fancy and I want to smell different. I want to have a head-turning perfume. I want to have a show-stopping perfume. It's going to be San Ysidro, or it's going to be this next one, and this next one isn't going to be for everybody. This is a lifer for me. This is Picky Pat's favorite fragrance. He said this is the sexiest fragrance in my collection. It's one of my most complimented fragrances of all time, and it is Alexandrite N Patchouli by EBK. I don't like to show these fragrances because they're so hard to get. It's a little bit easier now. There are some content creators I've spoken about in the past who do carry samples on their website. I have seen decants and such on Mercari and Etsy. So it's not impossible. And they do carry a discovery set, but this is the most luxurious patchouli fragrance I've ever smelled. The beginning, I will admit, is a lot. It's very, very strong, and the patchouli smells like that wet cement patchouli. But as this dries down, it has so many other things going on. I think it has a linen note. There is a little bit of galbanum, but I don't really detect it. There's lime, there's cotton blossom, some citruses, maybe it's just lime, and a subtle, I want to say it's orris butter. It's so spectacular, and I wore this once to work. By far, it was one of my most complimented fragrances. All my work friends, and I'm talking these, my friends typically wear things that are very light, like Marc Jacobs Daisy, something along those lines. My only other work friend who is a, perfumista, her signature scent is Delina, and Chloe, she smelled this and said, you have to tell me what it is. I made her a decant. She wore it to a party, I think the next day. And she told me when she went to that party, she had so many people coming up to her and asking her what she was wearing. The dry down of this is the best thing I've ever smelled perfume-wise. Again, it's not going to be for everybody, but it's just spectacular. And that was it. My most luxurious fragrances that I wear when I want to feel like I want to level up my game. I want to feel absolutely luxurious, and they tend to be the most luxurious in my collection. And I had a fun time pairing it with the beautiful jewelry from Ideal. I'm very appreciative that Ideal reached out to me and wanted to do another collaboration. I'm very grateful because ever since being introduced to that line, I haven't purchased any other jewelry other than from Ideal. And again, as I alluded to earlier, I will link everything down below. I do have a discount code. I'm not affiliated, but if you want to save 10%, it's available for you. Thanks again for sticking around. Thanks for watching. I had a lot of fun doing this video. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. And if I didn't mention your favorite, most luxurious fragrance, a fragrance that you love to wear when you really want to feel like you could take on the world, let us all know down below. And with that, I will see you on the next one.